Okay, we're going to be looking at Much Ado About Nothing, and we're going to be starting at looking at the themes. We're going to deal with each theme individually, and firstly we're going to be dealing with the theme of nothingness. But I will say that within dealing with the themes intermingle with each other. So although this video is primarily about the theme of nothingness, we will be looking at some of the other themes in the play which are also noting or eavesdropping, love, and also the idea of illusion and deception, because they all kind of intertwine, but each of those individual themes will be looked at separately in videos of their own. But to understand the themes, you need to look at all the themes together. So let's look at the title of the play, Much Ado About Nothing. Much Ado About Nothing is one of Shakespeare's comedies, and much of Shakespeare's comedies, such as You Like It, Midsummer Night's Dream, Love, Labour's Lost, you have these kind of very throwaway titles they draw attention to the title draws attention to the unserious nature and open to interpretation of the comedies. There's a lot of subjectivity. So Shakespeare wants us to think about the subjectivity of love and death, and the life and death struggle between in life. How somebody can fall in love with somebody on the mere hearsay of something that they've overheard. It draws in the idea that the comedy aspect of the relationships between the men and women in it they're farcical, but from that comes the most important matters of life itself. So the much ado, the big ado, is Claudio's denouncement of Hero, and the big ado comes from a nothing. The illusion of her inconstancy, the illusion, the deception of her infidelity. The little ado, there's a little ado, which is the galling of Benedict and Beatrix into love. And again, it's based on nothing. It's based on the nothing of their friends' deception. So you see here that on two things, on nothing, the nothing of their deception of Beatrix and Benedict's friends results in their love being realised in their marriage, and the nothing of the deception of Hero being painted as this immoral woman results in her denouncement and her apparent death. The whole play, the action of the play, is built on nothing, because there's nothing there. There is no infidelity. The galling of Benedict and Beatrice is nothing. It's a fabrication. It is a fantasy. So what is Shakespeare trying to tell us about this? He wants us to realise that nothing tangible, that love comes out of nothing tangible but a poet's imagination or the will of God, but yet it perpetrates life itself and affronts the ultimate extinction and meaninglessness of life. So Benedict says, that puts it in the way that that the world must be peopled, when he's justifying falling in love with Beatrice in Act 2, Scene 3, round about line 197, depending on the book you are using. Beatrice justifies it by saying, my wild heart to thy loving hand. So love is this thing that is going to tame her, is going to take away that wildness, and she's going to put herself under Benedict, who is going to tame her. But it's all in hearsay. It's based on nothing. The other idea is that nothing here is a euphemism. In Elizabethan times, for female genitalia. There's nothing between the lady's legs. And you hear this through the body joking. They also will use the will as a euphemism for the penis, which is something you hear Shakespeare use again when they're body joking. So there's a pun, and it remains this is the basis for Claudio's love. He says in Act 1, Scene 1, round about 134, he calls Hero the jewel, i.e. she's beautiful. He's sexually attracted to her. So it's, from seeing her as the jewel leads him to profess his undying love for her, and it's based on nothing. The euphemism is based on the fact that she's a woman and he is attracted to her. So Shakespeare's inviting us to see that love comes from nothing tangible. It comes from that sexual desire of the male for the woman. The quest of male love is rooted in sex. Again, Benedict talks about the world must be peopled, and Claudio wants his jewel. we can think of hero as a sexual icon. The male ideal. She's beautiful, rich, a virgin. She is submissive to her father, which would lead to being submissive to a husband. She is the ideal woman, but as an icon, as an idol, it's false. It's an illusion of who she is. It's Claudio's idea, and he's projecting the idea of who she is onto Hero. So when Hero dies, Hero's death kills off the illusion and allows the true hero to emerge. Which, ironically, in the play, she is the things. She is beautiful. But she was always a virgin. She is still submissive to her father, and that implies that she will still be that dutiful Elizabethan wife who is following her husband. We still see in Hero that conservative ideal of the woman. Now, Shakespeare uses Hero's name as something to play with. So, Hero in Greek literature is a name that the Elizabethan audience would have been very familiar with, because she was the devoted lover of Greek legend. So as well as being a figure from Greek legend, where Hero is the devoted lover, Christopher Marlowe had also written a play around this time called Hero and Leander, which was very popular. So the Elizabethan audience would not find this name Hero as strange as the modern audience maybe would. So it's very interesting to think about Shakespeare's choice of the name Hero. Now, Claudio is mentioned as doing in the figure of a lamb the feats of a lion. In Act 1, Scene 1, round about verse 2, when he's first introduced to us as coming back from war. This is Claudio as the war hero. However, the Claudio, as the plot unfolds, he doesn't really strike us as being an effective hero. He comes across as being a gullible fool who is more interested in hanging out with his mates and making rude jokes, and then cruelly denounces Hero and treats her father badly. It doesn't make us think of him as this great romantic hero. Later we hear at the denouncement, Claudio says, Hero. Oh no, Don Pedro, sorry. Don John says, Hero, your hero, every man's hero, when he denounces her in Act 3, Scene 3. So this is Don John pointing the finger at Hero to make her sound like she has been with every man around. That he's not just Claudio's hero, he's every man's hero. And then Claudio says, "O Hero, what a hero hast thou been?" When he's disillusioned with her and he thinks that she's been unfaithful, he plays with her name in Act 4, Scene 1, around about 19. Ironically, his vision of her virtue was clouded by deception when he ceased trusting the counsel of his heart. Again, that clouding of judgment was built on nothing. So it says in the counsel of his heart, Act 4, Scene 1, round about line 95, was clouded by a deception based on nothing. By playing upon Hero's name, the male ideal of extraordinary virtue and strength, Shakespeare is inviting us to see Claudio's hero as a narcissistic projection of his own self-ideal. So this whole play on the name Hero, this devoted legend, lover of Greek legend, is she is then being it's a projection of Claudio's own self-ideal. Again, the idea of Hero being a sexual icon, an idol, who is not real. She is Claudio's idea of what what a perfect woman should be. So in the next one we will discuss the idea of noting, which is very similar to the idea of nothing.